Yeah, I would just say that, like, if you really want to research something at, like, the high school level, I would really make sure that you're passionate about it, because that will just make it so much easier, because you're, like, going to want to spend all these hours and, like, all this energy on your project. And then it really shines through, like, when you're presenting and things, like, the judges, like, they can tell that you really care about it and that you really want to make a difference. And I just think it's more meaningful if you care about and are passionate about what you're researching.
Know where your project's going to take you. So I got an award that had to do with water, and like I am working with plankton which live in the ocean, but I was more looking at like climate science, and so when I was totally surprised, and now I'm competing in the national level of that competition, and I get to meet people from all around the country.
Else I would say is if you're ever doing a research or a research project or a science fair, do a lot of background research before you start. And that's also a key part in the scientific process. Anybody who's ever taken a high school level science class knows that you have to do your research before you do your project. But it really does help having all that knowledge of other scientists, real scientists who have done that similar projects, their methods, how they did it, and then what they found, so you know kind of what you're looking into, so you're not going into it blind. And another thing I would say is before you start testing, do trial runs if you can, because if you don't do trial runs, then your oxygen sensor that you're using might be wrong, or you might have grown the plants incorrectly or something like that. You catch small little things before you start testing.
Urge everybody that might be watching to go do some science, because I think it's really cool. And it doesn't have to be anything big, just like wonder how things work and stuff. Another thing is, if you're already doing a science fair project, just kind of what Mia says, like you never know where it's going to take you. Like I started with a project on tuberculosis, and then I switched again, and then I found something I was really, really passionate about, which was really exciting. So just, there's always going to be something out there for you to research that it's going to be really exciting and cool. So just go for it.
Sure, yeah. Well, I think that even though you think your project is just like the simplest things you could research about, you don't know the impact that could have in the world. Like at the beginning, I thought my research was just not good enough or just not good at all. And once you start digging more deep into it, you kind of see how it can impact the world and the importance of it, and that you really get to know your project and you end up being really passionate about, even though at the beginning you weren't really good with it, you could say. Yeah.
Success!